What's up, everybody? Benji Bruce here with SpeakingLifestyle.com. And in this video, I just want to talk about, I just spit everywhere and stuff. We're going to talk about how do you create content in a way where people come back consistently so you just build a more engaging audience. Because here's the thing, if you're creating YouTube videos or you're creating content in general, what'll happen a lot, especially with YouTube videos, is people, they'll watch the video and then that's it. Done. It's over. I mean, think about how many times you've been on YouTube, you watch a video, like let's say you type something in, I don't know, let's say you're looking up watches or whatever, you want to look at the new Apple Watch or whatever, you type in Apple Watch and boom, you watch a video, you watch the person's video and then you're gone. Like that's it. You watch the one video, you're one and done. That's it. And so how do you essentially get people to watch more of your videos and just watch it over a long period of time? And so you got to think in terms of, don't think in terms of going viral. A lot of people think like, oh, I want to go viral. I want 1 million hits on my video and all that sort of stuff. Like, who cares about going viral? Going viral, it's like all right, who do you want to be? The Gangnam Style dude. What? Gangnam Style. Or Vanilla Ice. Or do you want to be Jay-Z and Beyonce? So it's like, the Gangnam Style and Vanilla Ice, they were one and done. They had the one viral thing. That's it. They were one and done. Whereas Jay-Z, Beyonce, Tupac, all these people, Lady Gaga, all of them, it's not a one and done. It's consistent. It's over time. And so they built an engaging following. So how do you do that like with your YouTube content or just your content in general? One of the first things you have to do to get people to come back to watch more of your content is you got to understand the shift in the times, like the shift in the ages. And what I mean is, nowadays, you have to be more direct. You got to just get to the damn point. Like, nobody wants to take forever to watch your videos and all that. And you got to just get to the damn point. So that's why, that's why you don't see me do these long intros. Like, you know how back in the day, meaning like 2 years ago, back in the day, the YouTubers, they would all have that long ass intro. The intro, like let's say I introduce my video. I'd be like, hey everybody, in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to get people more engaged with your content. Boom. And then it goes into this long ass intro, freaking 20 seconds, 30 seconds, this bumper. They call it like a bumper, right? And nowadays, if you do it, like a lot of people, they just want to skip through that damn thing. They're like, I don't want to wait freaking 20 seconds to get to the content. It's kind of like, just hurry up, give it to me. So you got to understand the times that you're going through right now. And what you're doing with understanding the times is you simply want to look at your own behavior. So with your own behavior, especially let's say you're on YouTube, notice how you don't really want to watch those 20-second intro videos. You don't want to do that. And notice how YouTube, they do the speed thing. So you can essentially cause videos to go at like 1.5 times the speed, 2.5 or 2 times the speed. So they speak faster. So notice like what's your behavior, because other people are probably doing similar behaviors. Next thing you got to do if you want to get people to watch your content consistently and just build a more engaging audience is you have to, I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Okay. You have to understand the topics. Okay. So what exactly are the topics that you're talking about? And if you talk about the right topics, then people are going to watch it over time. Like, are you talking about interesting topics? So like if you're talking about money, without a doubt, people are going to watch that over time. So you got to pay close attention to what it is you're talking about. So that's why like nowadays, especially if you're brand new and you don't have an email list or anything like that, and you're sitting there, you're creating vlogs about your day, you're doing it all wrong. Like nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares. You're doing it all wrong. Instead, what you do is you create stuff around the topics that ultimately people are really interested in. The next one is your it factor. What about your it factor? The it factor is the charisma. It's the thing about you that can't really be duplicated. So it's your TV personality, your camera personality. So what is it about you, your personality, that can't be duplicated? So when you come on camera, that didn't sound right, but when you're on camera, it's like, is it the energy? Do you have maybe the calm wisdom vibe or what? Like what exactly is it about you? Is it humor? Like, are your videos funny? So it's kind of like you need that it factor in your videos if you want to get people to keep watching more of your videos. You also want to make sure that you focus on how you make people feel. Like, you got to make people feel good. And so when it comes to creating your content, you got to think in terms of does your personality on camera and all that stuff, does it make sense with the topics and everything in terms of how you make people feel on camera? And if you look at, let's say a perfect example, let's say a stock market, right? Let's say I'm creating videos on investing and how to do day trading and all sorts of options and all sorts of stuff, right? So if I were to create a video on the stock market stuff or videos, and my style was like I don't know, goofy and all sorts of stuff, people wouldn't really be interested. And the reason is because the people in the stock market, investors and all that, they kind of just want you, one, get straight to the point. It's like, don't do all this hype stuff and all that. They just want you to get straight to the point. So it's more like a serious tone. On the other hand, if I'm creating like a gamer, let's say I'm a gamer and I'm making those kind of YouTube videos, well, now I can be more goofy. I can be like, all right, more humor added to it and all sort of stuff. And so that's kind of, it's kind of what it is you're really doing. I actually kind of forgot the beginning part of this. Oh, how you make people feel, right? So the whole thing in terms of what it is you're doing is you're focusing on how you make people feel with your videos. Like with the stock market thing, you understand that the way you got to make them feel is like, I have an edge. Like I've got a slight edge over other people, over other investors. Like, oh, I'm going to invest in this stock over here and this stock, and it's going to make me a gang load of money. And so in your videos, when you're creating them, you're focusing on, you got to give people that feeling of, look, I'm giving you an edge over everybody else. Like I'm giving you this secret intelligence that nobody else has. You got to make them feel like that. Whereas if you were, let's say, goofy in the video, they don't feel like that anymore. It's kind of like, this person doesn't really seem like the type who can give me an edge over other people. On the other hand, if you're like, oh, serious, whatever, intellectual and all sorts of stuff, then you can come across as you're giving other people this edge. And like I said, with the gamer and all that sort of stuff, it really depends, but you have to focus on how you make people feel if you want them to keep coming back to your content consistently. You have to get into the tactics as well, like tactics in terms of, are you building an email list? Are you doing things like telling people to subscribe and things like that? You got to get into the little tactics of how to actually get people to come back consistently. And so one of the biggest things is literally you're just building your email list. And I don't mean like building a social media following. I mean literally your email list, where maybe you're spending money on ads, you're getting them to opt in, but you build that email list. So when you do create a new video, you just send an email out, hey, everybody, new video, go watch it, or I'm gonna smack your mama. And small commitments really help. So small commitments lead to bigger commitments. So when you are recording your videos, you got to remember, and this is one of the things that I keep forgetting in my videos, you got to remember to say things like, hey, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video. Like you got to create these small commitments. And this is one of the things where if you are sending an email out, like let's say you send an email out, you got to get people committed to clicking on the links, like create a link with something that you get them committed to just clicking on that link. And so these small commitments, they'll lead to a bigger one. That way in the future, like when you want to sell stuff and all that, you already have them committed to doing stuff. And then there's congruency and consistency. Now, obviously you got to be consistent, because if you're not producing a ton of videos, and everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, this first video is amazing. 2 years go by and then you're like, I wonder what happened to. And so that's what happens. So it's like, of course, you got to be consistent. And of course, congruency, I'll give you a perfect example of how not to do the congruency is basically how the US, or really how the world, handled the coronavirus. Well, I guess more the US in general, is if you look at the news, like it's not congruent. You hear, oh, it's bad over here. Oh, it's not bad here. Oh, okay. This protects you. Oh no, sorry. We were wrong about that. So it's like one day masks work, the next day they don't. One day the virus is airborne, the next day it's not. And so it's like they're not congruent. And that's why there's all these conspiracy theories and all that sort of stuff with the whole virus and everything, because they're just not congruent with stuff. One day you're going to wake up and everything's going to be the exact opposite of what they told you. So when that happens, people don't trust you anymore. So when you are creating your content, if you're not congruent, then people aren't going to trust you. If you say one day, hey, the most important thing in the world is this, and all of a sudden the next day you say, oh, actually, and if you keep flip-flopping, then people aren't going to trust you. Now, there's nothing wrong with changing your mind, but if you do it like the way that they did with the coronavirus and all that sort of stuff, you just keep flip-flopping every time, people aren't going to trust you anymore, and they're not going to come back to you, because it's kind of like people are going to think, well, there's nothing to learn from them. Like this person, one day they say this, the next day they say that, then they say this, they say that. So that's what happened if you're not congruent with stuff. You have to create momentum, like create momentum with yourself, with your business, all this sort of stuff. Because if you don't feel like you need to do it, then you won't. You have to feel like you need to create this content consistently. Otherwise, you simply won't do it. And people just won't come back because you're not creating this momentum. One day you're like, okay, let me create a video. Okay, cool. Oh, nobody liked it or commented on. Oh man. And then you like you won't feel it. And then all of a sudden 2 weeks go by, maybe you'll create something more. A month goes by, maybe you'll create something again. And like you won't have this momentum going. Whereas if you created like one video every week, you're creating all this momentum, or a video every day. You're creating this momentum, this energy inside of you to where it's like, look, I gotta create this content. I need to do this thing. And so you have to do that. And of course, the most obvious way to get people to come back for more and to consume your content consistently, build an engaging audience, the obvious way is just create good stuff. There's nothing else to say about that one. Just create good stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, subscribe to the channel, like it, comment on it, and all that sort of stuff.